Well, hello everybody. My name's David Walker. I'm the Trust Transformation Project Design Lead, and I'm here to take on a guided tour of the new Ged Mason Building under construction on site. So we're standing in the area outside the north of the building at the moment, a vast area, and there are some beautiful plans for landscaping this, turning into kind of sensory garden environment, sensory lighting, seating areas. At the moment, we don't have the funds for that, so in the short term, the plan is for all of this area to be levelled and turfed. On the other side, on the south side, there are beautiful plans for landscaping that into appropriate spaces for the internal spaces. So where you have a performance room, there's an outdoor performance space. Where you have the life skills kitchens, you'll have an outdoor kitchen garden so that students can grow their produce, bring it in, cook with fresh produce. Again, because of funding, we can't afford that right now, so that will also be turfed. But there are lovely plans available for that. Once you enter a classroom, the first metre or so is a storeroom, and then you've got the open classroom beyond that. Big roof light. Yeah. You can see how big it is. Yeah. Massive. So because this is an internal space, it will be flooded with light and it'll be really tall. And from here you'll be able to get into individual teaching rooms and into the classrooms. And there are 4 per cohort. The MSI cohort is down at the west end, so there are slight differences in the facilities in each of them. So the MSI, for instance, has more hygiene rooms, more hoisting, and the classrooms are designed to take fewer students, and there's a kind of wet area in those classrooms. I'm actually standing at the moment in an area of recessed floor. This is one of 7 hygiene rooms in college, and the reason for the rebate in the floor is a screen will be laid in here to falls, and it's like the wet room as we've got in the modelling foundation building, so any shower water will run down towards the draining point. One of the entrances to one of the cohorts now, so this is the MSI entrance. There are 3 independent entrances along this southern elevation. So students who are dropped off at the drop-off point will come along a footpath under an external canopy, and you can see the columns to the canopy just outside here. Students will, and staff, could be coming in through this entrance. It's like an airlock. You've got an admin room in this area, and then they enter the southern corridor. So this here, and you can see there's a skylight immediately above. And then all the rooms to the south of this are the specialist teaching rooms. So in the far corner, we've got the sensory theatre or the immersive space. And you can see that's also got a recessed floor, and that's for a sound floor. So we're actually going to put speakers into a floating floor, and the whole floor will act as a loudspeaker. So students will not only get great sound, but they get the vibration coming through the floor. Next room, which is a double-sized room, is the library and common room, with the room most used by interns. And then moving on, we've got 2 life skills rooms separated by storage. Moving on again, we've got a performance space and an IT suite. So the MSI cohort starts here. There'll be a pair of doors immediately in front that are on permanent magnets to hold it open. On this side are typically 3 individual teaching spaces. But in this particular case, because this is MSI and special, that's going to be another sensory room specifically for the MSI cohort. Next to that, across the front, is where your multi-purpose rooms will be. So the sports hall, you can now see the size and shape of it. And the wall on your left-hand side is going to be the new climbing wall. But just for you to get a sense of the scale of this is a big wall compared to what the Trust has had before. It's a massive facility. See the little stubs that are coming out from the wall? They will take the rails, horizontal rails that the wall will bolt onto. We've got basketball hoops at either end. Yeah, there are rebates everywhere. The reason for this is we've got underfloor heating. So in that recess, we'll be laying insulation, pipework, and then a screen to bring it up to level. And the same is true of this wraparound cafe space. So on your left-hand side will be the rebound room, and you can see the pit. The trampoline is all boarded in. On the right-hand side will be sensory integration. And one of the things just to point out is the floor levels look all over the place. That's because each area has a different kind of floor build-up. This has a rebate for inlay padding, and this room will have a structural steel grid hanging below ceiling level. And that will have, I think we've got 65 holes in it. Each of those will have a suspension point, and it means that the staff can put swings and cargo netting and ropes in almost any configuration they want to. They'll have complete freedom. And then down the corridor and on the right hand side, inside the fitness suite. So that's 2 bays. So the column just beyond Nico is in the middle, if you like, of that space. That's where all the gym equipment stands. And right down at the very far end of this corridor on the right, the changing village will be, showers and changing rooms. This is our main entrance. And that has sliding doors and an airlock, just like the Moulding Foundation building. And then the reception desk is just in front of that. In this corner is where your cafe, servery, access to the stairs and lifts are. You can see the lift shaft going up. Then you've got the wraparound cafe space. The cafe and servery is at the other end beyond that orange box. But we are now in that kind of wraparound space. So you've got seating alcoves down here, you've got sofas, you've got cafe tables and chairs in here. And of course it's 2-storey. You get loads of daylight coming through from above, in addition to what's coming through right now. So it's going to be really lovely space. The open plan office, yeah. There's a lobby space here that will take this to that means of escape. The other side of that, we've got the server room. The other side of that, we've got the IT workshop. Everything else is open plan. So there are 4 meeting rooms over on that side, in addition to the staff room. So the roof light you're walking alongside now is one of the giant ones over the heart spaces. It's facing north, so you don't get intense sunlight through them. The back of them is angled, and that's for 2 reasons. One is it bounces the light down, but it's also an acoustic absorber. This building, we've got a different roof light over the backs of the classrooms. So instead of allowing sort of bright light, they diffuse it and scatter it. Down that hole is like a light shaft that has a horizontal diffusing blind as well. Right. So even if bright light gets through those, you can diffuse it with a blind. So trying to avoid the harsh light and shadows that the VI students really struggle with. Yeah. All of the roofs, the entire roof area is covered in solar panels that generate electricity from the sunlight. Power they generate will get used on the building. Anything that's left over goes back to the new substation that we built in the southwest corner of the site. And from there is diverted back onto the site to be used by any other buildings on this half of the site. And if there's anything left over from that, we export it back to the grid and we get paid for it effectively. So it's about as efficient a use of the electricity generated as possible, but the whole roof will be a sea of panels